Yeah, so hello everyone, I'm Rahul Patle, and this is the test which have been provided to me. And I've started this TED around 12 p.m. this Saturday IST, and just completed around 5 p.m. And this is the walkthrough video. I'm going through the information that have been provided to me and how I coded the scenario and how I have actually made this scenario working in my personal org. So this is the new personal org that I have created today, and here itself I have written a code for the scenario given to me. So first of all, I'll go through overall the functionality that has been provided. So as the test asked us to display the data from external output link, that link is like a GitHub link which actually give us the JSON data. So I'm fetching that data and displaying here in a tabular format. I have used a normal table here to display the data under the each column. And here I have also added one more row. So suppose if you wanted to add one more row into this data column, so we need to provide a data. Let's say test data. Let me give a name, Rahul tester 80, balance let's say 7, and amount let's say 100. So after putting this data, I can actually add the record in this object itself. So I'll just try to add a depth, so it will get added here. Now if I wanted to remove this latest data, so I can click on remove button, so I can remove that data. So the same way I can add it again and I can remove. Even if I wanted to remove the last one data that so we can do by clicking on this remove button. So one by one we can delete all these data record. And as you can see here, right from the starting, as soon as I am deleting this record, I will be updating the total row count here, which is 6. And by default also, like, I can display the data or how much data we have fetched through the output link, so that can be visible here. So I will just refresh the page. So the total count by default I'll be showing here. This is like after fetching the data from the Apex class, I'm showing an alert message that the data has been retrieved successfully. So I will click on OK, and the data will be populated here, and you will be able to see the total row count is 10. Here if I add the row count, it will become 11. So I'll do that again. So as soon as I add this depth, my row count will become increased by 1. I'll just remove that depth, it will decreased by 1. Its count is now 10. So the second requirement is, we need to as soon as I check the check box, so this total check count should be populated. So if I select say suppose 1 2 3, so my total check count will be 3. If I click or add one more, so it will become 4 5 6, and if I uncheck that, it will decrease the count 0. Also if I select all from the select all checkbox, so it will by default show the total count of the checked checkbox, from which I can deselect anyone. It will try to reduce the count of the deselected record. Even if I from here itself, if I wanted to select deselect and select all, so if I deselect, the check count becomes 0, and if I select all again, the check count became 10. So all this thing I've did using a checkbox iteration symbol. So next part is the total count. So its total count is actually happening when I try to check the checkbox. So it's by default in JavaScript we are calculating the data, and we are iterating through each record with the column of balance, and we are adding the balance. I'm just storing this balance in an array, and I'm just calculating all the array elements and adding as a sum. So those sum is visible here. So I will just deselect all, so the sum will be becoming 0, right? So here if I select suppose 1, so the sum will be like 235. If I wanted to select another one, so it will add 235 and 687, so the total count become 922. And if I deselect any one, say suppose 237, the count will be the same. So by selecting multiple record, I'm calculating all the sum of the balances and showing it here. And also the check record is populated here, and total count is populated here. Okay, so I'll walk through the code implementation, how I did this part. So first of all, to fetch this JSON data, I have created an Apex class for this. This is actually a component. This is a Lightning Aura component. I've given this name as a my_test_external data. So for this I have this component, and I have created a controller class for this. Controller is my test external data, which is this one. So just my first point is just to fetch the data from the external link. This JSON data I have I need to get the data from the external link. So I have created a remote site settings for this. I've already opened this remote site setting to set and made it active. So I've provided the link here itself, and I just saved this remote site setting, so which will actually allow me to get the data from the this URL. After that, making this remote site setting enabled, I'm just going to my controller class, and I have created a method which is made this method as an Aura enabled, because I wanted to get the response in an Aura component. So here I've made an HTTP request where I've set the endpoint provided in the test series. So that endpoint I have set here. I've made a new HTTP request here, and I've set the endpoint and the method get, because I wanted to get the data. And here I'm just storing the data body in a string. So after that string, I have also created my external data wrapper, one more wrapper here, so that I can actually serialize my JSON string into my external data wrapper object. So here I have created one more class, so I'll just open it. So I'm parsing this JSON string there. So here I've just simply created this Apex class using JSON to Apex. So I have copied that JSON and created this Apex class. So here I'm just passing the JSON string from here. And once this JSON string is passed, I'm just returning that serialized JSON to my component. So this is the component part where I am actually making a call to this parse JSON data in initialization itself into init. So I have created this component where I have put my controller, like I told you, and here I have set some attributes. So I have set this JSON data as a records and a type of object because I wanted to iterate through each and every data provided to us. I have created one more attribute, which is check row count, which is actually here giving me the output of check row count, and also total row count is also there. So that also I have created here one more attribute, and one more attribute for total sum for this one. Now I have also created one more attribute, is select all. So this is for the checkbox for which we need to populate. Once I click this, I need to populate all the checkbox as true. So for that I have created that attribute. Okay, and initialization, I'm using the doInit function I have created here. So at initialization itself, this function is getting called here, doInit, and in doInit I'm just created a function where I'm actually calling the method of my controller, which is parse JSON data, and which is here actually. And here I'm just after calling itself, I just need to go to JS. After calling itself, once I get the callback from my method, so I'm just here getting the state. So whether I get success or failure, if there is some failure, I'm just putting an alert, like it may be due to some other reason. But if my state is success, and if I get the return data successfully, I'll just putting an alert which is actually populating at initial stage. So that alert I have provided here, records are retrieved successfully. Then I've taken a variable and put that serialized JSON here. And now I'm here setting all the records, the attribute that I have created of type object. I'm just parsing that string and putting there and assigning into the records variable, a record attribute. Now initially I wanted to display the count of the records which I'm getting. So I'm also setting the attribute of total row count here, where I'm actually using the method of dot length. So directly this parsed JSON length give me the total record count of the JSON. So that I'm directly setting here, which you are able to directly see here, total row count. Now after retrieving data and setting the initial count, I've created one more method here in my controller. So that method is generally for adding and removing. Yeah. So let me go through first my component, like how I have created this data table. So first I will go to my component. Here I have used one lightning card. In this lightning card I have just given my label, and inside that lightning card I am directly creating a table. So this table is nothing but the table you are looking here, this one. And after that I have created one more section to add a row. That is one more head I have created here. In this header I have given this initial checkbox, which will select all the checkbox. So that row I have provided here. And for each and every data, JSON data, I've created a column with a header. So this is creditor, this is first name, last name, and so on, minimum payment till balance. So for all such table columns, one column is this checkbox, and sorry, just 1 minute. One column is this checkbox, and all these columns are JSON object columns, minimum payment and balance. So this completely column I have created here, which is directly visible here. It's the checkbox and this column. And I've already provided I need to provide the data here. So all the data I'm iterating through the array, so I've put it on an aura iteration. So this is complete aura iteration. So in this aura iteration I have put all the records that I have retrieved from the JSON object. From the external link I have put it in a JSON object, and for each records I'm iterating and I am displaying the data in each data row, TD. So in each data row I'm just 1 minute. Yeah. So for first data row, I'm providing a checkbox here for each one, which is this checkbox. This is the column checkbox. This is for iteration. For each record, I have provided a checkbox here. And after that, I have provided the data. So I'm just in each iteration, I'm iterating to the records which I have set in my doInit method when I'm getting a callback from my Apex controller. So here I'm setting all the record in a JSON object, and in component in Aura iteration, I'm iterating through the each record while setting an each variable record as a REC. So for each record, I'm just populating the data here. Record.creditor name, record.first name. So this will work for each and every record. So this complete Aura iteration as a TD, as a data table, I am providing here. So it will iterate and show me each and every record for creditor, first name, last name, minimum pay and balance. Now the second part is I wanted to add the row, extra row. So I've also created one more row here for that table. I have given the initial name as an add row instead of because this place is required for the checkbox, but instead of giving a checkbox, I have provided an add row so that after adding the data, I can provide the checkbox by default. So I've given an add row section here and input columns here so that I can get the data first and then I can add the data. So I've also provided alert validation here. So I should not put the blank record here. So that's the reason I provided one alert here, so that I made this bank name or creditor name as a mandatory. So without that, I am not allowing anyone to add a debt. So if I click on blank, so I have provided this alert like please enter the bank or a creditor name. So after providing bank itself, I am just allowing a user to add the record. Yeah. So this add row will again contains that data table. So for each and every data table, I'm taking an input here for each and every record. So I'm taking value as a record, whatever the object's record I have, its first name. So how this is going to be happening is I'm just adding the value, input value I'm taking in a records tag, like add creditor name, first name and last name. So once I click on add debt, so I'm taking an action here. So after click on add debt, I have created one button also here, add debt. So this is my button, add debt. So in this I'm calling a function add, which I have created here in a controller, so which will actually fetch the input that I have provided here, input that I have provided here, and it will create a new empty, not an empty, it will create a new set of array record, and it will add the value whichever I have provided here and push that value to the existing array object. So I have created here as a controller this add method. I am getting a data from the I'm getting all the data whatever there in whatever I have retrieved from the backend from the Apex method. So all the data I'm getting here. Then after that, I am also providing an ID. So ID for just after whenever I get, because I'm putting a new record here, so I'm just giving a ID created by myself. So this I can actually I've just kept it as a 1, but I can actually make it as an encrypted ID, so that will take another time. So I just created as a 1 for time being, and I have incremented for each whenever I click on add, I will increment it for 1. So I'll just adding 1 for it for incrementation. So here I have created a set of 1 array where I'm actually, whenever the add button is happening, I'm creating a set of 1 array record where ID I'm putting as an incremented ID, and creditor name is what I'm actually retrieving the data dot creditor's name. So this data, so the first alert that I'm showing, like without creditor name I should not be allowed to enter the data, so here I'm providing that alert. So if creditor name is null, I'll put the alert, otherwise I will return it. So this data I'm getting the records which I have put it here in an input. So here let me go to controller again. Yeah, so here once I create the set of 1 record, I am just getting an existing record whatever they're available, like 10 records are available right now, so I'm getting all those 10 records, and on top of this 10 record I'm just pushing my newly created record here, so which will add that array into this existing records. And I'm just setting all, I'm resetting all this record again with the new record, because in existing record I'm adding this one more. So after this set, all this record is getting resetted, so all whatever I have put it here, it will reset again and add it into the data table. Then I have also here once I add this one more, suppose I'm adding here one more data, right? So I need to increment the count. So here again I'm getting the recent count here from the component, and I'm setting as a final value total count plus 1. I'm adding just one value here because one add button has been clicked, so I'm just adding one more count here and setting the total count again here. So the same thing for remove. After click on a remove tab, I'm just calling this function. I have this button of remove here, remove tab. So on click I'm calling the remove function, which is just 1 minute. So this is my remove function which I'm calling here, and once I get in here, my controller will actually check for the existing records. So here I've made one changes here, like I need to splice one record here. Splice is actually remove the one element from the array. So this is an array of objects, so existing records whatever I'm getting currently, for example if I add one record here, so total count is 11. So if I wanted to click on remove, so here suppose if I add one more data test, so let me add this, so total count is 11. So if I click on remove, on click of remove, what will happen is here I'm just getting the existing record. From existing 11 records I'm removing one record. So this -1 depicts like from which position I wanted to remove the record. If I put it 1, it will remove the record from the first position here, and if I put it -1, it will remove the position from the end. And I have after removing that array element from the last position, I'm setting the records again. So after this, I'm just again after removing the data, I'm just calculating the total row count again. So I'm again getting the total row count from the component, and I'm setting the final row count as a -1, because after clicking on remove, I will be removing one data, so one array element I'm removing. That's the reason I'm just removing one count here and setting the count again for total row count. So this is how the total row count is getting set here. Now how this functionality of select all is working. So let me show you here. I have created a one checkbox which is on a header level, which is on a column level, so which I've initially showed you here in component. So this is my table. Here initially I have created one input checkbox for which I have just 1 minute. I have given the value as select all, and on click of it I'm calling the handle select all method. This is my Aura ID, out of which I can find this particular DOM element. So here, after clicking on that checkbox, I'm calling that handle select all method here, and I'm put out all the logic and the helper. So in helper, I'll go here. So first of all, I'm taking the check row count here, because I also wanted to get the selected count here. So but so suppose if the row count is check row count is 0, so if I select all, so I should put the check count as 10. So all selected value should be here. So that's the reason I have taken the initial check count row as a 0, because if it is not selected, then obviously the checked count will be 0. That's the reason I've kept it here 0. Then I am getting the all the records here first of all, and check value is something like I'm getting, if I select here as a checked one, so I am getting the check value here by finding the Aura ID select all, which I have given here for the main component. So using this, where is the helper? Okay. So using this statement, I'm actually finding the DOM element using the Aura ID, and I'm getting its value whether it's checked or not. So if I check this, I will get value as true, otherwise I'll get a false. Now there is one more point where in Aura iteration, actually I have provided one more checkbox in Aura iteration. So for that also I have given an Aura ID, which is a check data. So if I go to inside of the Aura iteration, this is one more checkbox for which I have given the Aura ID as a check data, this one. So this also I am here finding using the Aura ID. So the DOM element I will be able to find here using a check data, and I will putting the value here. Now if I get the value as a true, means like the main checkbox value as a true, then I'm iterating through all the elements of having this Aura ID as a check data. So all the 10 records will be having this Aura ID as a check data. So I'm getting the value of all those records here. Actually I'm iterating through all those records which is having the Aura ID as a check data, and for each check data until the length, which is actually 10, I'm setting its value as a true, and I'm incrementing the check row count here itself, because as soon as I'm setting, suppose I'm setting the first value as a true, I'm counting it as 1, another value as a true, counting it as 2. So all this, once it's become checked, I'm counting its total count as 10. So that's the reason I'm incrementing the check row count here, which was initially set as 0. Then at the end, I'm getting a call. So at the end, I'm just setting all the check row count as the final value, which is 10 here. Now if I didn't get any value as true, if I get any false value, so suppose here on change, see, if I click here, I'll definitely get a value as a false. So that logic I've handled here in a else part. So for each check data, like all the iterated, all the record which is an iteration, so I'm getting the checkbox value of that also. Here I'm not getting the value, but the element check data, and I'm checking through all the data, and I'm just setting it a false here. So that's the same way where for the checked data, if it is checked, I'm setting all the elements of checked data or ID as a true, and if it is not checked in else part, I'm setting all the element ID or ID having checked data as a false, its value as a false. So the checkbox is becoming false for them. So that's the other part. Now after this I'm also putting this check row count as 0. So I'm not decrementing or anything here, because I know if I deselect the value, if I here deselect the value, all this count will become 0. So that's the reason I'm directly putting here count as a 0 and setting here. Yeah, so I was actually putting here, so this actually not need to be put. This is not needed actually, but still again I'm setting here, so I forget to remove this code. Okay, so here again, after I'm setting everything as a checked and unchecked, I need to calculate the sum. So that's the reason I have created one more method here, calculate sum. So once we select all, so this calculate sum is getting called on two major items or two major events. First is selecting all, and second is selecting an individual record. So this calculate sum is getting called. So as you can see, for select all method, at the end I'm calling this calculate sum, which will calculate the sum and show me. And for individual also I'm putting a handle check. So here if I go to component, for individual checkbox, right, so this is the iteration. For iteration, individual checkbox is there, which on change I'm calling the method of check handle data or handle check data. So this is for individual. So handle check data will call my helper method handle check. In handle check again I'm calling this calculate sum at the end. So it's for both, for individual check also and for all check also. So for both I'm calling the calculate sum method. Now for individual check also, I'm doing the same thing here. If I'm getting actually what is the current check count from the component element, and then I'm getting the value of the each checkbox check, and for if that checkbox is checked, then I'm incrementing the value and setting the check row count again here. If that check data, if I uncheck that individual again, so in else part also I'm decrementing the value and setting it again. So I've made it very simple here. And after that check and uncheck, I'm calling this calculate sum. Now so the last part is like how calculate sum is working. So here I have covered how I'm retrieving the data first, which is through the controller. Apex controllers method is passed, and and one more part I have covered here is how I'm actually, after selecting one record, how I'm putting the row count, complete row count as the total row count, and for individual check also I'm putting the check row count. Now also the sum part, but here I'm going to tell you some part, how I'm calculating the sum here. So when this all is selected, after setting the total row count, I'm calculating this calculate sum. And same way for each individual, after setting the row count, actually the row count, I'm also calculating the calculate sum. So for both the instance, it will work independently. So how independently I'm making it work is, I'm just actually created a total sum as an attribute, which is initially defined as a 0. I'm getting it here. I have created one array, which is a blank array, and here I'm actually getting the all individual record using Aura ID. So here if I go to iterable part here, Aura iteration, in this Aura iteration I have put this checkbox, and here I have kept the value of record in a text tag. So here for each record I am taking the balance. So as soon as I will try to get the DOM element for this Aura ID check data, I will be getting the balance here. because I'm actually putting that balance in a text column or text tag. So here, if I go to helper, so here I'm finding that DOM element for check data. So this check data will actually give me all the whatever the selected record I have checked here. So I will get the check value here. Now for each and empty array, I'm just checking whether it's checked or not. If the checked value is checked, so I'm not I'm just putting here as a not, because I don't want it's if it's checked or not, because if it is not checked, I wanted to set it as a true. So for each and array whatever I've presented here in check data, I will get the array of records. So for each and every record, I'm just checking whether the value is true or not. If it is true, I'm just adding this value in a text tag that I've given, which is a balance. So I'm getting that balance here and I'm adding into this array by using push method. So in this array, one element of checked record, its balance is getting added here. Now if the array is not present, or let's say if the data is unchecked, then I'm going to the else part. In this else part, for each and every unchecked data, I'm just again going through each and every record, individual record, and I'm just checking what is the value. If the value is true, then again here I'm getting the push I'm getting the balance here. So for each element, I'm getting the balance, which is put in the text tab, and I'm pushing into the array here, which is defined as initially as 0. Now each and every time whatever the checkbox I'm checking here, every time this balance is getting stored in a text tag, and I'm able to find this balance using element ID, which is aura ID, which is check data, and I'm iterating through each and every one and putting it in an array. So I will be having array of balances here, array of balances. Now once I have this array of balances here, I will go down and I'll just try to put it on a sum. So there is a method in JavaScript where actually I can use the reduce method, which actually do the sum. If it is not there, it will put 0. If nothing is there, it will put 0. So I'm doing sum here and just adding this sum into variable defined total sum, and again it's setting the sum directly onto the component level. So this is all about calculate sum, which is working here. So using these three methods itself, we are able to calculate the sum, check the all records, and for individual record check also I'm calculating the sum here. And in controller, this do init, add, remove, handle, select, this will call helper, which is actually the method that I've showed you. But in init itself, in do init, I'm setting the data first and I'm setting the count. And this add, I'm actually, after clicking on add button, I'm adding one more element of array by getting the values of whatever I have put it here, and I'm adding on top of the existing records. And remove is like using splice function, I'm removing the current record. So that's how this all functionality works here. And I have provided the source code of all my code in my GitHub. So I will just go to GitHub and log in. I'll just share my GitHub link to the Spock. So he will share GitHub link with you, where I will be uploading the same video on that GitHub. So that's all about this functionality that I'm going to tell you. So let me know if any changes needs to be done here, or anything need to be understand more in depth. So I will happy to answer that. Thank you.